On day 1, I spawned in as Santa Claus. Ho ho ho! Whoa, 10 hearts? That's awesome! Guess that's what I get for being jolly old Saint Nick. And look how snowy it is. It must almost be Christmas already. But wait, where is Santa's workshop? And all of the elves? And the reindeer? Something's wrong. I need to find out. I can't miss Christmas. That'd make me like the worst Santa Claus ever. Maybe that guy over there can help. Hey, I'm Zozo Claus. Do you know where I can find my reindeer? Uh-oh, I'm not sure that guy's actually gonna help me. Isn't that the Wither?
That's right, Zozo. I'm the Wither, and you are doomed.
What? Why?
Because I hate Christmas, and I hate Santa Claus most of all. That's why I captured your reindeer, and it's why I'm going to destroy you.
Uh-oh, looks like I better get out of here. Thankfully, as Santa, I can move like wind on ice. The Wither started firing witherheads at me, but I was too fast for him to land a hit. Time to escape to those frozen mountains over there. Phew, that was a close one. I don't think I've ever met someone who hates Christmas that much. Oh no, who's that weird little black skeleton guy? Is he another villain?
What? No, my name's Wilhelm. I'm a good guy. I live around here. I just look a little scary.
Oh, I'm sorry for judging on first impressions, Wilhelm. Guess I've got a lot to learn before I can really be Santa Claus. And I bet all those snowmen guys over there are actually nice too.
Actually, those are bad snowmen, and they work for the Wither. We need to run.
That sounds like a pretty good idea to me. The snowmen are coming right for us. Let's get out of here. Making Christmas happen is gonna be way harder than I thought. I'm gonna need to make the presents, save the reindeer, and defeat the Wither. On day 2, after hiding out in the icy mountains with Wilhelm overnight, I decided it was time to get started on my new workshop. But first, I'm gonna need some tools. Lucky for me, as Santa Claus, I'm a master craftsman, and people are eager to help me out. Hey Wilhelm, can you lend me any materials? I need to do some crafting.
Sure, I've got a few sticks and wooden planks.
Perfect! I can use that to craft a wooden pickaxe. That's a pretty good start. Of course, Santa's workshop has got to be cozy, like a log cabin, so I need to make my way down to a nearby forest for some wood. But a pickaxe isn't ideal for gathering wood. I better use my pickaxe to mine some stone and make myself an axe. Oh yeah! And I may need to use this axe for more than just chopping wood. There's a devourer, and it looks hungry. I had no idea these lived in the woods. The devourer jumped at me, and I had to dodge to avoid its rings of teeth. That was a close one. Santa's got strong arms from years of carrying all the presents, so he's also got a mean axe swing. Chew on that, devourer. I just wanted to axe you a few questions. With the devourer defeated, it's time to cut down some trees and harvest the wood. I'll take this back up into the mountains and start building my brand new workshop. I needed to make it big and build in a lot of rooms for making different toys and presents. I may be able to save Christmas after all. On day 3, my base was coming along nicely, and I'd made Wilhelm my first helper.
What can I say? I love Christmas. If you let me have a room in the workshop, I'd be happy to lend a hand.
Perfect, but now my workshop is gonna need a little security to keep out any potential Grinches. A stone wall will probably do just fine. But where can I get a ton of stone at once? I can't waste time making a whole new mine myself with Christmas on the way.
Hey Zozo, there's actually an old abandoned stone mine not far from here. Maybe you can get yourself the blocks for a wall there.
Great idea, Wilhelm. After grabbing my wooden pickaxe, I'm on my way. Whoa, I didn't expect this abandoned mine to be so spooky. Is this really the kind of place where Santa Claus would hang out? Wait, are those icemen? What are they doing down here? Is this what happened to all the miners? No, they're coming towards me. Better grab my axe before it's too late. These guys are way tougher than I thought. It's like my axe isn't even hurting them. Oh no, I'm surrounded. It looks like I'm outnumbered. It almost looked like I was done for when a huge one-eyed polypham walked out from the back of the mine.
Hey, leave that guy alone. Isn't he the one who delivers presents to all the good girls and boys?
Just the sound of his voice made all the icemen scatter. I'm just glad he was on my side. Hey, Mr. Polypham, thanks for scaring away all those icemen. I'm Zozo Claus. What's your name? The Polypham seemed touched.
My name? Nobody's ever asked my name before. I'm Ricky the Polypham. I've been trapped in this mine for almost a year now, thanks to the Wither.
Wait, the Wither is after you too? But why?
I used to work for him. I was one of his bodyguards. But last year, I asked him what he wanted for Christmas, and he flipped out on me. I've been on the run ever since.
Wow, this guy really hates Christmas. I guess that's why Santa Claus is his #1 enemy. Say, Ricky, how about you come stay at my base? We should probably stick together.
That sounds great, Zozo. As long as I'm not giving you too much trouble.
Let's do it. But first, would you help me mine some stone? On days 4 to 5, I decided to expand the base to make a new room for Ricky the Polypham. He's a big guy, being a giant cyclops, so I made him a double-sized room and gave him a double bed to match. He and Wilhelm were really getting on great. Both are scary-looking guys who are actually super nice, so they already had a lot in common.
Wait, you guys are making toys in here? That's rad. Count me in.
That's another helper added to my brand new workshop. This is gonna be the most awesome Christmas ever. Maybe I'm not such a bad Santa after all. And because I still have some excess stone from building the wall, I'm gonna give myself the gift of a brand new stone pickaxe. And now, I'm off on the hunt. Wilhelm and Ricky wanted me to get some shed snake skins from the forest near the base so I can make some banner patterns. The kids will love those. Wow, this forest is way darker than I remember. Time must have gotten away from me now. It must be nighttime. And that means, mobs will be on the prowl. Something's coming towards me out of the dark. Are those night apparitions?
We serve the wither, Zozo. You cannot be allowed to save Christmas. Our master would never allow it.
Then I guess it's time to fight. As the night apparitions flew towards me, I dodged and pulled out my axe. Where's your Christmas cheer, guys?
We're only interested in spreading Christmas fear.
These night apparitions were no match for Santa Claus. After a few strikes from my axe, they took off running. And what's that? Did they drop something? No way! That's the efficiency enchantment. I'll be able to mine faster than ever before now. On days 6 to 8, it started snowing. I'm off in the fields trying to herd some sheep. Here, sheepy, 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 come to Zozo. I know what you're thinking. Why would Santa Claus want to herd sheep? It's because I'm gonna need a lot of wool for all those Christmas sweaters. Herding these guys is a lot harder than I thought. Where's a shepherd when you need one?
It is I, Zozo. Are you ready to meet your doom?
I asked for a shepherd, not a wither. How did he find me here?
You don't understand, Zozo. I'm growing in power. I know all and see all. Soon enough, I'll be able to take on my true final form, the Wither Storm. When I achieve my destiny, I will destroy the entire world.
You're bluffing, Wither. There's no way you'll ever be that powerful. Evil can't win during the holidays.
Ha 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 ha! You fool! Bear witness to my supreme power.
That's when the ground exploded next to me. It knocked out half of my hearts immediately. I didn't know he could do that. He's too powerful. I can't fight him. I better run.
You can run, Zozo, but you can't hide.
As I tried to run away, the ground kept exploding next to me. Every time, I only barely escaped with my life. It's like he's got some kind of deadly psychic powers. Boom! Bam! Every explosion left a huge crater in the ground, and the sheep started to scatter. As I ran, the wither kept floating behind me.
Getting tired, Zozo? I suppose the Christmas spirit can only take you so far. Now perish!
Another huge crater exploded into the ground, and I fell into it. Only one heart left. I never knew he could be this dangerous.
It's over. Now there'll never be a Christmas. I win! The Wither wins!
I'm trapped in this pit, and it looks like he's charging up another attack. Oh no, I'm doomed! How can I escape this one? Wait, I have a stone pickaxe and the efficiency enchantment. If I can't escape up, I can mine and escape down. It's perfect! I mined with all my might as the Wither unleashed a final blast behind me, caving in the tunnel. But it's already too late. I've escaped.
I'll get you next time, Zozo!
On days 9 to 10, I was hanging out at the base with Wilhelm and Ricky, still recovering from my last battle with the Wither. I can't believe he took me down to one heart. If I hadn't had such quick thinking, I would have been doomed. What if next time I'm not so lucky?
Don't worry, Zozo. He caught you off guard. The exact same thing would happen to anyone. I thought your escape was really cool.
Yeah, Zozo, you did the best you could. Don't beat yourself up. We need to stay in the Christmas spirit, or we won't be able to finish making all the toys. How can we get you feeling jolly again?
That's when I came up with an idea. I could build a statue, a giant Christmas tree statue. That'll give everyone the Christmas spirit they need. If I can make myself some green concrete, I'll be able to make it the perfect color too. I just needed to score some sand, some gravel, and some green dye. Time to start building this tree. I can worry about the decorations later. I need to make this thing huge so everyone can see it. This is going to be a real project. But just because I'm building a new statue doesn't mean I can afford to forget about my workshop. First, I build a second story so I can build in a few more workrooms. I also started building a new personal mine into the back of the mountain near the base. This is perfect. We won't need to travel now to get extra building materials. This is more like it. Even if the Wither is more powerful now, our workshop is getting more powerful too. On days 11 to 12, I decided if I wanted to stop the Wither from destroying Christmas, I needed to understand him first. After all, I thought Wilhelm was scary when I first met him, but as I got to know him, I realized he was actually a super nice guy. And Santa Claus needs to believe that there's a little bit of good in everyone, deep down. That's why I went to talk to Ricky the Polyfam about him. Hey Ricky, back when I first met you, didn't you tell me that you used to work for the Wither?
Oh yeah, I worked for him for 3 years. I probably should have quit sooner, honestly. He was a real jerk, but I needed the dental coverage. The day he started blasting Wither faces at me, I knew it was all over.
But there's gotta be a reason why he's such a jerk, right? And why he hates Christmas so much. If we can figure that out, maybe we can actually stop him. That's when Ricky sighed and told me the story, the one he'd heard again and again while working for the Wither.
You see, back when the Wither was just a little Wither kid, he'd always behaved badly because of his parents, a pair of Wither skeletons, who always ignored him. He needed some kind of way to make people notice him, and because no one had ever taught him to be kind, he decided to be evil instead. But because he was a bad kid, whenever Christmas came around, the Wither would never get any real presents from Santa Claus. He'd just get coal. That only made him more angry and bitter, and it caused him to vow revenge against Santa Claus and the whole Christmas season.
Of course, it all made sense. It was the perfect tragic backstory for such a three-headed Scrooge. But how did he get so powerful? That's the one thing that doesn't make sense.
Well, coal is a pretty bad present for a kid, but when the Wither grew up, he realized that coal was actually an incredibly valuable material, and he had a lot of it. That's why he built himself a giant castle called the Foundry, which is full of giant furnaces where the coal is always burning. It helps him to craft powerful items and enchantments. He turned the source of his pain into one of his greatest powers.
Wow, I thought that hearing about the Wither's backstory would make it easier to defeat him, and now I'm not so sure. From days 13 to 15, I decided that I needed to get some food in case the Wither attacked again so I could restore some hearts. While Wilhelm and Ricky were working away at the base, I went out to the forest to find some delicious apples. Apples are a tasty, healthy snack and a good way to get back hearts. These are great! I love apples! But wait, this place seems weirdly familiar. Oh, I know, it's because the abandoned mine where I met Ricky is near here. I wonder if those icemen are still down there. At first, I was a little scared to go down there and take them on. Then I realized the Wither is way stronger than the icemen, and if I can't take them on, I have no hope of defeating the Wither. I need to be brave. I need to do this. I grabbed my axe and ventured down into the abandoned mine. Icemen, come out wherever you are. That got their attention. The Icemen came storming in, swords ready to slice and dice. But I'd already survived the Wither, and surely I can survive these guys too. I ran in and fought every one of them, managing to dodge their hits and strike them with my axe until they all gave in.
Okay, you win! You win! We can't beat you. What now? Are you gonna finish us off?
No way! Santa Claus wouldn't do that. Christmas is a time of forgiveness. How about you guys come back to the base with me? Our workshop needs some new helpers.
Thank you, Zozo, thank you. You're so kind. You really are like Santa Claus.
And defeating people with kindness must be how Santa levels up, cause now I have 20 hearts. That's twice as much. And a new weapon, a special snowball shooter, an extremely strong ranged weapon. I better save this for an emergency. On days 16 to 19, I needed to go on the hunt for some new materials. I needed some red blocks to add to my Christmas tree statue as decorations. But where would be the best place to get them? Red concrete seemed a little drab. I know, I can get myself some red mushroom blocks. I grabbed my stone pickaxe and tried to harvest some mushroom blocks, but it didn't work. Why? That's when I remembered something Wilhelm told me.
Zozo, if you want to mine more delicate things like mushroom blocks, you'll need the Silk Touch enchantment on your pickaxe.
Of course, and I think I can learn that enchantment from the ancient cave library. There are plenty of old books full of strange enchantments in there. I mined my way into the cave, but it looked like I had company. The cave was full of cave spiders. I can't waste my special snowball shooter on the cave spiders. Thankfully, I have a backup plan. One of the icemen gave me an iron sword. He told me he didn't need it anymore. Now he's retired to work at my workshop. Prepare to taste some iron, spiders. There are so many of them down here. Maybe caves are named after cave spiders, rather than the other way around. But once they were defeated, I got to the library of ancient books and grabbed the enchantment book for Silk Touch. I enchanted my pickaxe, and now I can collect all the mushroom blocks I like. The Christmas tree statue is gonna look so awesome when I'm done. On days 20 to 22, I got a rude awakening from Wilhelm.
Zozo, I'm sorry to wake you up so early, but I've got some bad news. I was collecting some apples outside this morning, and I saw the Wither on his way towards the base. We need to stop him.
Not exactly the nicest way to wake up. I prefer bacon and eggs. Instead, I need to grab my snowball shooter and my sword, just in case, and go meet the Wither. By the time I was up and dressed, the Wither was already here. He was floating right outside the workshop, laughing evilly.
You thought you could escape me, Zozo? How pathetic. Do you really believe that a little Christmas cheer can truly defeat my empire of evil? I could blow up your entire workshop with a thought.
But you won't.
Oh yes? Why not?
Because it'd be over too quick. If you wanted to defeat me and destroy my Christmas workshop, it'd be a one-on-one fight, not just blowing it all up at once.
I hate to admit it, but you have a point. Let's fight, Zozo.
And with that, he appeared right behind me and blasted a Wither face right at me. I was able to dodge it and pull out my sword just in time, striking back at the Wither.
Impressive, Zozo. Now try this one on for size.
He blasted face after face at me, but I was stronger than I used to be. I could strike back or dodge every single one, each time getting closer to the Wither. He was starting to get nervous, I could tell. Hope you're ready for a Yuletide beatdown, Wither. I was eventually close enough to draw my snowball shooter and line up a good shot when, boom, he was gone. The Wither disappeared. We never got to finish our fight. But now, I knew next time I might actually have a chance of beating him. Christmas might be saved after all. On days 23 to 26, I was helping Wilhelm, Ricky, and the Iceman build toys in the workshop. We were going to need to make as many as possible if we were going to save Christmas. But halfway through, one of the Icemen came over to me with a present.
Hey Zozo, me and the other icy boys wanted to thank you for letting us off the hook. As a way of thanking you, we wanted to give you this gift we made. In the spirit of Christmas, you know?
That's when he handed me a pair of Outback leggings, and they looked pretty cool, if I do say so myself.
But it's more than that. The Wither uses ranged projectile attacks, and these leggings give the wearer a chance to dodge any projectile attack fired at him. We figured it might come in handy.
Oh, this will come in super handy. Thank you so much, Iceman.
We even put a special inscription for you in the back of the pants. Take a look.
Let's see, it says that everyone should like the video, subscribe to Zozo, and tell us what adventure you'd like to see next down in the comments. I don't know what that means, but it sounds pretty awesome to me. On days 27 to 31, I continued my work on the giant Christmas tree statue while the rest of the gang worked on all the toys and presents. The mushroom blocks had added a nice splash of red to the statue, but I think it still needed a little more green. But seeing as the whole thing was made out of green concrete, I needed a bright green that would really stand out. It had to be green emerald blocks. But to get emerald blocks, I needed to mine emeralds. And to mine emeralds, I need a stronger pickaxe. Thankfully, using Santa's crafting skills, I whipped up an iron pickaxe and set off on an adventure. Off to the Emerald City! Emerald Mines. I'm not sure why I said that. It took a couple days of traveling to arrive at an emerald cave where I could do some mining, but when I did, I realized I wasn't the only one there. Skeletons! And they've all got bows! I guess you guys probably aren't going to want to share those emeralds. They did not. What they did want was to shoot me with a bunch of arrows. What they didn't know was that this was the perfect opportunity to test out my new Outback leggings. With the help of those magical pants, I dodged every arrow and took out the skellies with my iron sword. You're all getting coal in your stockings this year, boys. With them out of the way, I was able to mine some emeralds. I used these emeralds to make emerald blocks. These will make perfect decorations for the Christmas tree statue. On days 32 to 35, I was wandering through a forest looking for supplies when I saw something shocking. An old man, the Pied Piper, was being dragged along by a group of 3 terrifying skeletons. It looked like they had taken the poor guy prisoner. I had to do something. I ran in with my snowball shooter drawn. Get away from that guy, you skeleton creeps! I was hoping it'd be enough to just wave the shooter around and scare these bad guys away, but apparently not. All 3 started charging at me, so in a moment of panic, I pulled the trigger. Boom! Whoa, that snowball shooter is so powerful. It destroyed one of the skeletons in one shot. That sent a pretty strong message to the other 2. They ran for the hills, and I ran in to help the Pied Piper. Hey, are you okay, sir? What was happening there?
It wasn't anything I hadn't dealt with before. That darn Wither.
Wait, the Wither is behind this too? What did he want with you?
I used to be his babysitter back when he was a little Wither kid. He always hated me. Maybe if he would have gotten that novelty hat, he would have turned out different.
Novelty hat?
Yeah, it was what he always wanted for Christmas back then, but he always got coal.
Maybe that's the key. Maybe if I figure out how to get a novelty hat for the Wither, I can change his mind and save Christmas after all. From days 36 to 39, I went on a quest to find the novelty hat that the Wither always wanted back when he was a kid. After all, isn't it Santa Claus's job to find the perfect gift for everybody and help encourage them to be kind to each other? I thought this would be an easy little quest until I found out who actually had the novelty hat. A guy known as the Reaver of Nightmare Mountain. Nightmare Mountain, by the way, is a giant volcano. The Reaver has an evil lair inside where he keeps all of his favorite weapons and also the novelty hat. Okay, I think the Reaver might throw me into some lava if I just try to head in there and fight him. I needed to find another way in. Thankfully, I was able to make a plan. Using my efficiency enchantment, I could tunnel in from behind rather than going in from the top. Hopefully, the Reaver wouldn't notice me, and if he did, at least I'd be able to use the snowball shooter. Now I know how powerful that weapon is. It might hurt him, maybe. Well, here goes nothing. From days 40 to 43, I decided to go through with my plans. If I could get my hands on that novelty hat, maybe I could stop the Wither without even needing to fight him. That would be the most Santa-like way to solve this whole problem. I pulled out my iron pickaxe and started plowing through the side of the volcano. So far, so good. That efficiency enchantment is the Christmas gift that keeps on giving. But things weren't so easy when I actually got in there. Turns out, while I was mining fast, I wasn't mining quietly. The Reaver had heard me the whole time, and he was waiting for me on the other side.
How dare you bust into my home unannounced?
This isn't going well. I pulled out my iron sword and tried to attack the Reaver, but he was too strong. It didn't even damage him. And with every hit he gave me with his giant fists, he took 5 hearts. He was the strongest enemy I'd faced since the Wither himself.
This'll teach you to mess with people's privacy? Who do you think you are?
I'm Zozo, and I'm trying to be Santa Claus. I just wanted to come in and get the novelty hat so I could give the Wither the Christmas spirit.
Oh, why didn't you say so? I love Christmas. I'd be happy to lend a hand.
And as it turns out, he did. The Reaver gave me his novelty hat and asked if he could come stay at the workshop with me.
I don't actually like the heat that much. Staying in a cabin up in the snowy mountains suits me way better than staying in this volcano.
And because I showed kindness to solve a problem, I got another Santa upgrade. Now I have 30 hearts and I'm bigger and stronger than before. We both went back to the Pied Piper in the forest and showed him the novelty hat.
That's the exact kind of hat he always used to talk about. Maybe you will finally get through to him.
On days 44 to 49, I got back to work on the statue in the base. Even though I had the hat, it's not like I can just roll up to the Wither's evil lair. I don't think he'd hear me out. I hid the novelty hat inside the chest and then started renovating. First, I built more green concrete in the workshop and started building the statue even higher. The taller it was, the more Christmas spirit it'd give to everyone who saw it. This has gotta be the coolest Christmas tree ever made. And now, with the Reaver added to the squad, I needed to make another new room for the base. I was sure to make the roof extra tall because the Reaver was even bigger than Ricky.
Wow, this place is nice. Thanks for letting me come back with you, Zozo. And I'm sorry for hitting you when you tunneled through the wall of my old house. Christmas is a time of forgiveness, right?
On days 50 to 53, everything changed. After all the threats, quests, and battles, the Wither returned to the workshop, and this time, he brought friends.
Surprise, Zozo. I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
The Wither was surrounded by a legion of Nightwalkers, huge, scary, supernatural creatures of darkness. Why don't you come and face me directly, Wither? We don't need to make this a big deal. It's Christmas.
Oh, you and your worthless Christmas.
I even have a gift for you.
I have a better one for you, Zozo. Complete destruction. Attack my Nightwalkers. Destroy them all.
The Nightwalkers immediately swarmed, flying in and attacking the workshop. At least I wasn't alone. All my new friends, Wilhelm, Ricky, the Iceman, and Reaver, were there to help me out. Now it's more of a fair fight. Wilhelm fired a bow at the advancing Nightwalkers. Ricky used a huge axe to take out monster after monster. The Icemen grabbed their swords again and entered the battle. And the Reaver was so strong, he was able to take out Nightwalkers with punches alone.
I can do this all day. Rita rules.
It was clear that we were starting to win, and the Wither didn't like that. It's why he activated his most sinister power, telekinetic explosions. A huge part of the base suddenly exploded, leaving a crater in the ground. No, the novelty hat was in a chest in there. But by then, the Wither was already gone, and he took Ricky with him. I was so angry about this change of fate, I took on the rest of the Nightwalkers myself and defeated every last one with an iron sword. By the time I was done, I upgraded again. I was taller, stronger, had another 5 hearts, but most importantly of all, I had a brand new ability, the Cosmic Ho Ho Ho!
Looks like you've become such a powerful Santa Claus. Your ho-ho-ho can frighten away enemies who know they're naughty.
That's definitely an upgrade, but I can't afford to celebrate. Not until I get Ricky back safely and save Christmas! On days 54 to 57, I needed to build back the base after the Wither and his minions had blown half of it up. I headed back down into the forest with an axe to collect some new wood for the repairs. This was seriously going to affect our gift-making schedule. We're gonna need to work double time if we want to get all of this ready for Christmas. While Wilhelm, Reaver, and the Iceman were rebuilding, I went back to an old friend, the Pied Piper that I'd rescued from those Wither skeleton jockeys. I need your help, Pied Piper. I got the novelty hat, but the Wither destroyed it before I had a chance to give it to him. And he kidnapped Ricky. Now he's got my friend and my reindeer held hostage.
Oh, this is bad.
I know that much, Piper. Is there anything else you can tell me?
Well, I can't tell you how to defeat the Wither, but I do know where he might be keeping your friend. When he captured me, his minions were taking me to the ice dungeon. It's an off-the-book prison he keeps his enemies in before they're dragged off to the foundry, but it's heavily guarded and hard to get to.
Anything is worth it to save my friend, and to save Christmas. The Pied Piper gave me the directions to the ice dungeon, but before I went on my daring rescue mission, I'd need to step up my game again. On days 58 to 62, I started preparing for my epic rescue mission. I'd gotten a lot stronger than I was before, but if the ice dungeon really was as dangerous as the Pied Piper said it was, I needed to go in as prepared as I could. And that would only mean one thing: full diamond armor. I traveled to an underground cavern where I'd heard rumors of a diamond vein, with an iron pickaxe ready to go. The deeper I got into the cavern, the darker it got, until only an underground river of magma was lighting my way. I never would have been brave enough to do this earlier. Guess I've really come a long way. That's when the hellhounds arrived. Good doggy. Good doggy. But appealing to their sense of flattery didn't work. The hellhounds looked angry and hungry, and Santa Claus was on the menu tonight. That's one way to fast-track yourself onto the naughty list. As they all charged me though, I took in a deep breath and let out a ho, ho, ho that sent those infernal doggies running off into the dark. Heck yeah, this new ability is paying off already. With the hellhounds taken care of, I mined some diamonds and made my way back to the base. There, I finally made the armor and weapons I needed to take on the ice dungeon. Full diamond armor, and of course, a diamond sword. I'm coming for you, Ricky. On days 63 to 66, I realized I needed a little inspiration before I went on my most dangerous rescue mission yet. I carried on working on the statue. It finally felt like it was big enough. I added green concrete until it was huge, then added more red mushroom blocks and emerald blocks until the whole thing twinkled. But it was missing something. But what? Of course, a Christmas tree needs an angel or a star on top of it to make it complete. But how do you make an angel or a star? But making a Christmas tree isn't the only way to spread Christmas cheer. You can also hit the red button and subscribe to Zozo, and tell your friends to subscribe too, so you can enjoy all these adventures together. On days 67 to 70, I equipped my diamond armor and grabbed my diamond sword, then set off for the frozen ice dungeon deep in the frozen wastes. I was going to save Ricky from the clutches of the Wither by any means necessary. But of course, the ice dungeon was guarded by a horde of snow beasts. You picked the wrong day to mess with Santa, you nasty little snow creeps. I drew my sword and went in on the snow beasts, taking each one out in one swing. But what they lacked in strength, they made up for in numbers. Every time I thought I'd taken them all out, more came through. In the end, I needed to pull out the big moves again. Ho, ho, ho! That sent them all running. Now, it was just me versus the door. I pulled out my pickaxe and started going at the entrance until there was nothing left to stop me. It was time. I was going in. On days 71 to 74, I started fighting my way through the dreaded ice dungeon to try and find Ricky. But someone was already waiting for me inside. It was the Ice Wizard, one of the Wither's most loyal and powerful minions.
Well, it's ice to meet you, Zozo. How about you chill out? I made this whole dungeon for the Wither. It's pretty cool, don't you think?
Enough with the rancid ice puns, Wizard. Where's my friend?
If you want your friend, you're going to need to find him yourself, Zozo. and that's no joke.
Curse you, Ice Wizard! With that, the Ice Wizard disappeared, and he sent his first wave of minions right at me. A group of ice piglins. Lucky for me, with my new diamond armor, they couldn't leave a scratch on me. But when I went after them with my diamond sword, it was a whole different story. Take that, and that, and that! Soon enough, they were all taken care of, and I was heading deeper into the ice dungeon. But it wasn't going to be that easy.
You'll find I'm an awful lot more slippery than that, Zozo. You know? Slippery? Like ice?
Yes, I got the joke. Don't over-explain it. A door in one of the walls opened, and several ice gas poured out, flying around the room, firing ice balls at me. Thankfully, I still had a long-range weapon, my snowball shooter. Reach for the skies, ice gas. Bang, bang, bang. They're gone. Wow, this snowball shooter is still coming in handy. One of them even dropped a potion. Potion of knockback resistance. I better drink it. You never know when it'll be useful. With all of the enemies taken care of, it was time to chase the Ice Wizard and find out where he was keeping Ricky. I wasn't letting him get away with this. I found a huge door at the end of the hall. This must be where they keep all the important prisoners. I burst through the doors and I was surrounded by mutant snow golems with the Ice Wizard standing in the middle, laughing at me.
You're right, Zozo. This is where we're going to keep an important prisoner. You!
On days 75 to 78, I was in a really sticky situation. Ambushed, surrounded, and most of all, confused. Where's Ricky? I don't understand.
Ricky? Ricky. Wow, talk about brain freeze. His name doesn't ring a bell. Did he look like this?
Flash! The Ice Wizard transformed into the polyfam I thought I knew and loved. Ricky! Wait, you're Ricky?
Always have been, Zozo. Sorry.
Flash! He transformed back into the Ice Wizard, looking smug as ever.
There was never a Ricky. He was just a ruse so that I could infiltrate your base and spy for the Wither, then lure you out here. And look, the plan worked perfectly.
I felt so betrayed. So this whole thing had been a trap. Maybe the Wither was a lot more diabolical than I first thought. But that would have to wait. I'd need to figure a way out first. Okay, Ricky, or Ice Wizard, or whoever you are, you wanna fight? Let's fight.
Yeah, I'd love to fight. Get him, boys!
The mutant snow golems came running at me. I barely had time to defend myself, and I lost a few hearts as they hit me again and again. Then I pulled out my diamond sword and took the fight to them. I was a much more experienced fighter than these golems, so I was able to outmatch and defeat them. Okay, Ice Wizard, let's do this.
Guess it's time I finally put you on ice.
You already did the ice thing, you jerk. The Ice Wizard started to transform again, but this time it wasn't into Ricky. He became a towering monster called the Snow Nightmare and unleashed a jet of icy breath that would have blown me backwards if I hadn't already taken the potion of knockback resistance.
Looks like you'll be harder to defeat than I thought. But don't worry, Zozo. I like a good challenge.
More ice gas flew into the room, and I needed to pull out my snowball shooter to fend them off. All the while, I needed to dodge strikes and snowballs from the Snow Nightmare. But when the ice gas were shot down, it was time for me to finally bring the Snow Nightmare to an end. No more terrible ice puns! Not now, not ever! And with a few well-placed strikes of my diamond sword, the Snow Nightmare and the Ice Wizard were gone. It was time to leave the ice dungeon and never return. On days 79 to 84, things got a whole lot worse. I stepped outside the now empty ice dungeon, and the Wither was waiting for me, floating above.
I didn't expect you to leave the ice dungeon alive, Zozo. The Ice Wizard was one of my strongest minions. You've impressed me. Our battle for the soul of Christmas will be one for the ages.
I don't even know if I want to fight you, Wither. Sure, you tricked me. You attacked me, you kidnapped my reindeer, you blew up my base, and you almost blew me up. But I'm meant to be Santa Claus, and Santa Claus is all about giving second chances. Suddenly, the ground exploded next to me. The Wither had used his explosion attack again, but this time, my extra hearts and diamond armor kept me from taking too much damage.
Very impressive, Zozo, but you're not the only one who can get stronger. Watch me as I assume my final form.
Storm clouds gathered up above, and rain began to fall. The Wither became larger, darker, more powerful. The sheer force of his new form caused the ice dungeon to explode into smithereens behind me.
This is true power, Zozo!
Even as powerful as I'd gotten, there was no way I could defeat him. I pulled out my snowball shooter and fired. It did nothing. As the wither grew bigger and more powerful by the second, all I could do was run back to my base, or I'd be done for. But what if he followed me back? Then Christmas wouldn't be coming this year. On days 85 to 89, I returned to the workshop where Wilhelm, Reaver, and the Iceman had been working hard building all the toys and presents. I just wish I had better news to give them.
Zozo, we're so glad you're back. We were worried about you. Where's Ricky?
Guys, I'm so sorry, but we were tricked. Ricky was always just one of the Wither's minions in disguise. And now, the Wither is stronger than ever. I don't know if we're going to be able to win this one. But Wilhelm, my first ever friend here, wasn't going to let me get down on myself here.
I think I've made something that can help. A new weapon, the mace. It's slow, but it's also one of the most powerful weapons ever made. If you can land 2 hits on the Witherstorm, you might be able to take him down for good.
Wow, this weapon is incredible. Thank you, Wilhelm. This is the best Christmas present I've ever gotten. And that's when I got an idea. I realized exactly how to finish the statue, topping it off with a brilliant, bright star. I climbed to the top and created a bonfire, which would spread the light of Christmas cheer to all across the land. The statue was finally done. That's when Reaver approached me, and he had an idea of his own.
Zozo, so I know the novelty hat that you took from me got destroyed, but I do remember where you might be able to buy another.
On days 90 to 94, I traveled for miles until I found a small village that Reaver told me about. All the villagers were getting ready for Christmas. It was only days away now, and the pressure was really on. I needed that hat, or all of this might have been doomed. I found my way to the local hat store and went inside. And there it was, a novelty hat exactly like the one I got from Reaver. Excuse me, Mr. Vendor person, can I please have that hat? I don't have any money right now, but I promise it's an emergency. I need it to save Christmas.
Nah, I think I'd prefer the money.
Okay, I also have this extremely powerful mace that could probably destroy this entire store in one hit.
All right, the hat is yours. Take this redstone dust as well for your trouble.
On days 95 to 97, I applied every upgrade I possibly could to all of my gear. I gave my mace fire aspect and knockback enchantments to make it even more dangerous if I ever needed to use it. I prepared potions of healing, regeneration, and strength. I even made a few grenades using the redstone dust in case I needed to spread some fiery Christmas cheer. I was almost ready for the final battle. On day 98, I spoke to Wilhelm, Reaver, and the Iceman for what could be the last time. It was now or never. We needed to have all of our bases covered. Okay guys, just so we're clear on the plan. I'm going to go and confront the Wither, get the reindeer back, and give him a gift that will hopefully restore his Christmas spirit, right?
Right.
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 But tomorrow is Christmas Eve, our last chance to get all the toys and gifts ready to deliver. So while I'm confronting the Wither, you need to make sure everything is ready for me, right?
Right.
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 And there's one more important thing you need to know. It's probably the most important thing of all.
And what's that, Zozo?
Everyone watching this needs to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment telling us what adventure they'd like us to try out next. And with that out of the way, it was time for the final battle to unfold. On day 99, I made my way to the foundry, the Wither's huge, coal-powered base. It was so much bigger than mine, but it seemed so lonely. The Wither didn't have any minions left. He just floated above the lair, incredibly powerful, but completely alone.
So, you finally come to face me on my own terms, Zozo. You've realized what a futile waste of time it is to make Christmas happen. As if anyone here really needed it.
That's where you're wrong, Wither. I don't think anyone has ever needed Christmas more than you. I'm just sorry that nobody has ever given you a chance to be a part of it.
You fool! The only person who won't be getting a chance here is you. It's time to end this.
But I was ready. Drawing on all the power of Christmas cheer, I entered my final form, the true Christmas spirit. 100 hearts, almost unbreakable armor, and an unstoppable drive to spread good cheer. Come get me, Wither! And he did. The Wither struck me again and again with his full power, but nothing seemed to work. His darkness couldn't hurt the light I was putting out.
This is impossible. I am the most powerful entity in the world.
Actually, you seem like a sad, lonely little creature. But it's okay, I can help. But he wouldn't give up. He kept getting bigger and stronger. I threw my grenades. I fired my snowball shooter. Nothing slowed him down. In the end, I knew I needed to use my ultimate weapon, the enchanted mace. You don't want to go on my naughty list this time, Wither. Bam! With one hit of my mace at full power, the Wither was down for the count, cut back to his proper size. He lay on the ground, injured, but alive.
And I suppose you'll want to finish me off, Zozo. Go ahead. It's probably what I deserve.
No, Wither, I want to give you this. Merry Christmas.
Wait, is this the novelty hat? I've always wanted the novelty hat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Zozo.
Hey, I'm Santa Claus here. It's just what I do. Now, I could use another helper. Want to give me a hand delivering gifts to everyone else?
Yes, I think I'd like that very much.
On day 100, after delivering toys and presents to children all over the world, we decided to go back to the workshop. Even the Wither, who'd turned a new leaf, came back with us. We decided to have a Christmas feast together, then have a nice, relaxing evening in front of the fireplace. I think we've all earned a rest until next Christmas.